So I've been given the unenviable task of giving my entire life story and also making this brief. Um, I will try to do both. Uh, it actually starts really in 2008 when a man named Bob Nichols showed up at this podunk little regional in Ypsilanti, Michigan called Great Lakes Regional and gave a speech about this podunk engineering school on the banks of the Flint River. Uh, I was an eighth grader at the time, but it actually was what initially got me interested. And I remember getting this like really cool marketing material that was all about like designing roller coasters. I had it up plastered on my bedroom wall. Even though I like wasn't sure I was going to college or if I was even smart enough, who cared? Uh, it seemed like a cool place to be. Um, but that also was the beginning of first changing my life. Uh, I had undiagnosed ADHD until I was 17. There was a lot of times in high school where, you know, adults in my life, as much as I thank all the mentors that speak positive influences in me, there were a lot of adults that would say things like, you're really wasting your potential. You're so smart. Why aren't you using it? You're just lazy and you don't care. And you hear those things enough times, really start to internalize it. And it was the mentors on my local robotics team that was absolutely terrible, like hot dumpster fire garbage of a robotics team that were always there to help me think more critically about my life and about the world in general. And I am eternally grateful for that. But they also helped me find out that I had ADHD. So after lots of like quasi-suicidal periods and uh, fun emotional bouts, uh, I ended up getting diagnosed, going to therapy on a regular basis. I still do. It's great. It's like showering. We'd all be a lot happier if everybody did it. Uh, and and even with getting a 4.0 my senior year, I still graduated with an overall GPA of a 2.6. And I applied to Kettering, like, please let me in. And they said, have you heard of community college? And I'm so glad they did because I ended up going to community college, getting my skills up to where I needed them to be, and then transferring in. And Kettering has amazing transfer scholarships, really helped make the school more affordable. But at that point in time when I was doing that, it was like, all right, well, that was the bar, that was my goal. I've hit it. What's next? And I remember I had just resigned from a position at Google, which is a whole nother story in itself. And I was like partying up here with one of my high school friends, scrolling the Wikipedia page, being like, I should probably learn a little bit more about this school I'm going to. And I saw that they are one of the top feeder schools to Harvard Business School. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a place for elitist jerks on the East Coast. Um, and, and so that was my new bar. I wanted to get into Harvard. And it turns out that Kettering is uniquely designed to really imbue you with the skill sets that you need, that specifically Harvard is looking for. They have three criteria: academic excellence, a habit of leadership, and community engagement, right? Uh, let's start with the first one, academic excellence. Is Kettering a cakewalk? Absolutely not. Uh, I, I jokingly say that you don't come here to have fun, you come here to get paid. Because that's what this school's really good for. Um, but it's so rigorous. The cramming of the schedule into the 10-week semesters is something that national universities and employers see as like, oh wow, you made it through that. You can definitely come in and like make change in our organization. Then you have the habit of leadership side of things. The co-op experience literally builds you up from day one. You're not even in this school yet, and Kettering is already bringing employers to you at the state championship saying, you won a job. Like, I was crashing cars for Fiat Chrysler as a freshman in college. I don't know anyone else at other schools that had that level of responsibility or empowerment to make those types of decisions. And then you have community engagement. Kettering is in the beautiful, great city of Flint, where there is so much potential and also so much need and so much opportunity to give back whether it be as a clown emceeing at the first robotics competition district, or helping give local FLL camps in the schools. There's so much opportunity here to create good in the world that I really, really cherish Kettering University as a whole for that opportunity. And altogether, that's just the me side of things. What I didn't realize going on in the background was that Kettering also had all these other students going to Harvard, all these alumni that I could connect with. One of whom, when I applied to Stanford Business School, the number 1 or number 2 business school in the world, by depending on the rankings that you're looking at, Mary Barra, who is the CEO of General Motors, ended up being selected as my alumni interviewer. So that was fun. I tried not to puke for that, but it's one of those examples of just like how every step of the way there are other Kettering people pulling you towards success, clearing the path, doing what they can. And I really, really am grateful, and I cherish that ability, or that environment that was cultivated here. So all that said, as stressy, depressy as this opening ceremonies has been, I am sad to say that this is probably going to be my last first robotics competition season for the foreseeable future, because I got into Harvard and Stanford. I think it's really a testament to how amazing FIRST is as an organization, that it can empower people and lift them out of poverty, and then, with a 2.6 high school GPA, chuck them into the stratosphere of success. It's a great privilege that I have, and I gotta say, like, I understand that being from a community like this, having these experiences, it's not the typical experience any investment banker or management consultant is going to have. So I carry that burden of being an advocate for those communities, right? It's all about having people in the boardroom that can say, if we close down this factory, it's really going to impact that community in a really poor way. And we need to make sure that we're taking into account the human costs rather than just the monetary costs. We need more leaders that can think critically about the world, not just technically, not just monetarily, but humanitarianly. And that's what I hope to do at Harvard Business School. I think fundamentally, that's because even though I might be wearing the maroon right now, I'm sorry, the crimson, as the people at Harvard say, fundamentally, I'm always going to be Kettering built. So, thank you all for listening to my spiel. I'm going to miss you all. I'm going to be here next week, though, if you want to see me again. So, with that said, go to Kettering. It's a great school. If it's right for you, it's your life. I'm not going to tell you one size fits all, but it's a great option, and I think you should consider it. With that said, today looks like some qualification matches in the morning that we are going